Welcome, welcome, welcome to another beautiful day in Southern California and another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels. We have passed 5,000 subscribers, and I just want to thank you, family, G.L.O.W family, so much. Over the next few weeks and months, we're going to be growing together and doing more and more exciting things. As I shared with you before, I'm going to be starting a second show very soon, and also my live. On the live, I've decided the first live will be the first Saturday in November, and on that live, I'm going to do a giveaway. Now, I don't know how to do that wheel where you turn it and you do all that, so I'm hopefully going to get some help on figuring that out. But I thought that would be a great time to celebrate this momentous occasion of surpassing 5,000 viewers and giving away some gifts, having some fun, getting to chat with you. And I would like to also do a Q&A where I answer some of your questions. So can you send me in some questions and I'll do my best to answer them. Now, I can't guarantee if some of them get really, really personal, I might have to pass on those. But most of them I'm pretty sure I'll be answering. So come on, let's join me. I'm going to do something so simple today that anyone, and I mean, oh boy, looks like the ducks want to have a say in this video. But come on and let's go, and I'll show you some of the beautiful scenery as I go back to my van. Let's go. Today, I'm going to share with you what I call Cooking 101 to show you that you can make some very delicious, amazing things without having any cooking skills. Some of you have shared with me that you don't know how to cook and you're scared to get in the kitchen, whether it's in a van or a sticks and bricks. So today, I'm going to show you something that's so simple. I'm not kidding you. Anyone can make it. Plus, I'm going to tell you a few things that you can use your own ingredients to take it up even an extra notch. And if you go anywhere or someone comes to your van or home or wherever when we get back to socializing, they're going to be so impressed by this simple but elegant dish I'm going to show you how to make today. So come on, what do you say? Let's get started. Hello, hello, we're back in the van. You may be wondering why I'm wearing this glittery get-up today. Well, when I was getting ready to, getting dressed rather, to do the shoot and to do the show, my daughter told me, because I had a black hat, black shoes, black dress, she goes, "You look like you're going to a funeral, Mom." So I thought, well, you know what, I'll put on something maybe a little more sparkly, a little more lively. And now I guess I look like I'm going to a disco. But hey, like I tell you, it is what it is, and this is who I am today. So let's just focus on the food. Today, I am going to be showing you, as I told you, something so simple, and you're going to be able to use what I taught you about the garlic confit and the infused garlic oil. If you remember, and I think I'm going to have it linked up here so you can hit it if in case you haven't seen it. But I showed you a very, very simple way to make a gourmet garlic-infused oil that you can use when cooking. I told you when I did the show on garlic confit and infused garlic oil, I wish that bird would be quiet, but I don't think he's going to. So anyhow, I told you that I was going to share with you some dishes that you could use this oil in. Actually, you can use this oil on anything. Anything you're going to cook with that you want to pop the flavor, you use this oil. Now, this one doesn't have rosemary in it, but after it cools down, you can put rosemary in it. You can put thyme in it, any spices or peppers. But anyhow, this bruschetta that I'm making today is a perfect dish to use this oil in, and I'm going to show you in a few. So why don't we get started, and I'll let you know what you're going to need. You're going to need, of course, some nice Roma tomatoes. You're going to need just a little touch of balsamic vinegar. That's really up to you. You're going to need some extra virgin olive oil. which I have here, and I'm going to be using this. You're going to need tomatoes, and you're going to need bread, baguette. And then you're going to also need some fresh basil. Now, on some things, actually a lot of things, I will use dried spices because they'll really do the trick. But on this one, you really need basil, and you need fresh basil. Also, sometimes, you just use the green spices for color. This is really an essential part of the seasoning. So if you can't use fresh basil, you probably don't want to make this until you can. All right, come on, and I'm going to show you how to make this and how simple it is to make. I usually use about 6 tomatoes if I'm doing, a dozen or so appetizers. But this is about the size that I like them chopped. I like them, it's kind of a rough chop. So they kind of I like good hearty pieces of tomatoes. But I only used about 3 or 4 today because I'm not making that big a sampling. I'm just doing it to show everyone how to do it. But this is what I do. I chop off that edge where it has the little stem here, and then I just scoop out the inside. Scoop out the seeds, and then I'll use this. I'll put this aside, and I'll use this in eggs or something if I'm making some rancheros, or I'll use it for spaghetti sauce, but I don't use it for my bruschetta. Get that all scooped up. The tomatoes are cut in half, scooped up. Then I'll just take and I will cut it in strips like this. And after I get all the strips cut, I'm going to come back and cut those, but I'll show you. I'll do a rough chop like this, so they're about the same size. And then after they're all done, I'll put them in the bowl. So I'm going to finish cutting these up, and then I'll come back and show you what's next. What we're going to do now, I've got all the tomatoes all cut up, and you can see they're cut about the same size. I like them like I said, a good hearty size. Then I took some of the garlic confit, and I'm just going to smash that up. Smash that up, and then I'm going to put this in with the tomatoes, and I'm going to put some of it in with the oil and see how this is making kind of a little, mash there. It's like, I call it a garlic mash. I'm going to take some of that and put it in this pot because I am going to toast my baguette, or I should say grill my baguette in here. So let's put this in here, maybe a couple of tablespoons. Now remember, this is all seasoned already. And then I'm going to take some of the garlic that's mashed here. I'm going to put that, and I'm going to stir that around in there. Now I'm going to turn that on. Oops, let me get all of this good garlic off of here. Okay, now I'm going to take the rest of it, and I'm going to put it in with my tomatoes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take put this spoon aside, I'm going to take my basil, and I'm going to just roll it up here. Get it in a little bunch, roll it up. And can you see it's all rolled up? And then I'm just going to take it and I'm going to chop it. Chop it in ribbons. It's just a rough cut. But I want good, nice, good pieces here. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that in with my tomatoes. Get all of this basil in here. And like I said earlier, the basil is not for decorating in here. The basil in here is really for the flavor. And in fact, I'm going to add a little bit of, maybe about a tablespoon to 2, depending on how much tomato I have. And then I'm going to mix this all up. Get this all mixed in here. And I'm going to even add some more garlic in here. Now, what you can do in this, you can add if you like. Sometimes when I'm making it, depending on who I'm making it for, I will put some very, very fine red onion in there, but I grate it. I don't chop it. I don't want that to be a big chop. I want it really grated fine. But when you grate onion, because it has so much moisture, the moisture will come out and be wet, so you'll have to use like a paper towel to soak up some of that water, and then I'll grate it. But I'm not that crazy about raw onions, so I'm not putting it in there, but I'm just letting you know you can. So we'll be back in a minute. I'm going to chop up the baguettes, and then I'll show you what I'll do with the little toast that the tomatoes are going to go on. We'll be back in a minute. We have the baguette here, and they're toasting them. You can do this in a toaster, but you don't really even have to toast or grill your bread. But if you do, it'll absorb the moisture from the tomatoes better, and the bread won't get soggy. But at any rate, you shouldn't put this on the bread till just before you're going to eat it. Then you don't have to use bread that's this size. You can use smaller bread. You can use a regular size French loaf bread, or you can use brioche. You can really use almost anything you want, whatever you have. This is just how I traditionally make it. If you're going to use this as dinner instead of just an appetizer, what you could do is use a larger piece, as I said, of French bread. Then on it, you can sprinkle some mozzarella cheese, or you can put mozzarella cheese inside here. Or if you're not vegan or vegetarian, you could put like little prosciutto on the bread, or you can sprinkle some Parmesan, even some bacon bits on it, or you can put chorizo. I think chorizo, I've had it with chorizo, and it's fantastic with chorizo. So there's a lot of different ways you can make this, but today, since I have a lot of people who've asked me to make something that's vegetarian with no meat, I'm doing this with no meat and no cheese today. Like I said, I'm doing the very, very basic, very simple, and I'm giving you suggestions as how you can take it up a notch. What's looking to me like this is just about ready. You can see all the garlic here, and it's getting good and toasted, and it's just about ready to come off the grill here. So I'm going to take this off and plate it up, and then we're going to sample it. The fun part. We'll be back in a minute. Well, now comes the fun part. You know, my favorite part is the sampling. But one thing I need to tell you, I forgot. I'm so used to cooking and just going so fast and not telling someone what I'm doing. I forgot to tell you, when we were off camera, I added salt and pepper to this. So you salt, pepper, and you can add oregano to this. So now, and I also poured a little bit of balsamic vinegar on this balsamic. You can do any brand that you want, but just a little. I put it in a little pour, and I just pour just really lightly over that. Now, sometimes you can do a balsamic reduction, which is real thick, but I want this to be very simple so anyone could make it. So let's go ahead and sample this, shall we? This is good. Crunchy. Oh, the tomatoes are falling off. You can taste the olive oil. Another thing you can do if you want, and sometimes I do, I didn't today, but you can add just a little bit of butter in the olive oil and garlic as you're making it. This is good. And one other thing I do, sometimes I make an avocado bruschetta all you do is just add some chunks of avocado to this. I'm going to devour this whole thing, so you'll have to excuse me. I think I want a little more balsamic vinegar. That is good. You guys know, when I get quiet, that means it's good. I encourage you to try this. So this is for my viewers who are vegetarian, who have been asking me to do a vegetarian dish. But for my meat eaters, excuse me, I'm sorry here. But for my meat eaters, you can add meat to it, as I explained to you. Put bacon bits on it, chorizo, some prosciutto on the bottom. Add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, grated Parmesan cheese. We've concluded another show. Who would have thought we would have been at this point? But we are. Thank you, G.L.O.W family. Don't forget, the first Saturday in November, I'm going to have my getaway. In my mind, I'm hoping to get away. I'm going to have my giveaway. I'm going to do my first live, as I said. And it's going to be a lot of fun, I hope. So come on, join me. It'll be at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. G.L.O.W's first live. So I hope I won't be there alone. We'll see. Big celebration for 5,000. May your journeys be filled with joy and blessings. Till next Thursday, bye.